Cause she on the road, she ride dick like carnival. I don't need the impossible.
Way too rich to drive a Rolls. Made $1 million out the stove. She like to put it in her nose. Pretty bitch with white toes.
Ye and Ty Dolla $ign have released their joint album Vultures 1. Following a torrent of anti-Semitic rants and a revealed admiration for Hitler, it seemed certain that Ye's career was completely over. He lost billions, lost deals, and lost respect. He was actually canceled this time. Or was he? But of course, one of the most prominent reasons that people are fascinated with the man is because he's one of the few public figures who truly walks the tightrope on the very limits of what is publicly acceptable. His controversy is something that many wish he would keep exclusively within his art, but he doesn't seem to be built that way.
This the Game of Thrones, Yeezy not the clones. Elon, where my rocket ship? It's time to go home. They served us the porn since the day we was born. Anybody pissed off? Gotta make a drink the urine.
But still, recently, stadiums essentially banned him. There was nowhere for him to go. But little did many know, the people still loved him. Some might say that Ye's fans are a cult. It's not hard to see why they would say that. Through thick and thin, there are few artists that have a fan base so passionate that they'll support their art no matter what. And maybe that's part of the reason why his fans can't let go of the music. It has a life of its own, separate from the controversy and ruffling feathers that Ye has become so famous for. Ye's influence on music, fashion, and culture at large has been explained ad nauseum. An enormous number of young artists find inspiration through his art to the point that they find their creative morale influenced by his work. His work also connects deeply on an emotional level for so many people that it's hard for audiences to not see a piece of themselves in his sound and aesthetics. There is a quote somewhere that I will paraphrase, and it has to do with Jay-Z. Jay-Z is so loved because he makes his fight look effortless. So much so that you don't even see the fight. The thing with Kanye is he wears his battles on his sleeve. That is what keeps his influence alive. Any artist that is relatable like that holds favor in the heart of millions of fans, if not billions.
Paparazzi love me, they show up to everything. I can play you double, let me put you on a team. White Castle to Italian castles, we did everything.
With Ye, his behavior has led to a sort of self-sabotage. There's something to be said about the concept of the artists cutting off their own ear. Bear with me as I break down what I mean. The legendary artist Vincent van Gogh's mental health had been deteriorating, and the incident with his ear is one of the most dramatic manifestations of his struggles. After cutting off his own ear, Van Gogh reportedly wrapped it in paper and gave it to a woman at a local brothel.
Crazy.
He was hospitalized shortly thereafter. This event marked the beginning of a series of hospitalizations and deteriorating mental health that plagued Van Gogh until his death in July 1890. Despite his struggles, Van Gogh continued to produce a remarkable body of work that profoundly influenced the art world. He is one of the most influential artists in history.
I saw one news pundit screaming about Kanye. She said, mental health is no excuse for that type of language. Yes, it is, bitch. You can kill somebody if you're mentally ill. Listen, okay, I don't think Kanye is crazy at all. I think he's possibly not well.
Crazy. Bipolar, anti-Semite.
What Kanye did to himself was his version of cutting his ear off. Saying bigoted things, whether a result of mental illness, a desire to provoke, real prejudice, or all of the above, is essentially career suicide. Yet the question lately has become, what would Ye have to do to commit career suicide? And is some of the world justified in wanting to kill his career themselves?
I suspect that we're pretty awful people if we say that somebody got a mental illness and then we watch what they do. If you say somebody got special needs, then why would you be watching them and holding them accountable like everybody else? Wouldn't you grade them on a curve?
Cancel culture has been hotly debated among many thinkers and professors. Pope Francis said that cancel culture is a form of ideological colonization, one that leaves no room for freedom of expression, saying that it ends up canceling all sense of identity. Professor Lisa Nakamura is spinning a different tune, She likens cancel culture to the ultimate cultural boycott, a kind of societal timeout where accountability is the name of the game. It's as if society has its own remote control, and is not afraid to hit the mute button on what it doesn't want to hear. At the University of Virginia, Assistant Professor Meredith Clark is weaving her own narrative, suggesting that cancel culture is actually handing the microphone to voices that were previously lost in the crowd, the marginalized. Then there's Conor Gorell, writing for Vice, who throws in a curveball by suggesting that maybe, just maybe, cancel culture isn't the big bad wolf it's made out to be. It is a question if cancel culture really is better than allowing someone to take responsibility, learn from their mistakes, and be given another chance. But something that really separates him from other people who are canceled or people are lobbying to cancel is he offers something of value that is very separate from his flaws. Many others who have been truly canceled have committed heinous things, and it might be that Ye's fans are just comfortable with separating the art from the artist. That perspective is required of all creatives. Art is filled with disturbed individuals who did their best to offer something of value to the world. Nonetheless, they are human, and humanity can be ugly. Consequences are a very real thing, and is definitely something that Ye has been dealing with. What remains an important factor in art criticism and discourse is to never censor the audience's reaction. If the audience is not allowed to participate in its true feelings for a piece of work, they are being denied their very ability to use discretion and take the good from the bad. In some ways, it can be an insult to intelligence and critical thinking to assume that one who's appreciating art can by default be in support of the worldviews of the artist. If such a belief is indeed true, what do we say about opening the Pandora's box of secrets that millions of artists hide to save face? Not every artist is morally bankrupt, but there are more artists guilty of shameful actions and behaviors than one would like to assume. Look at the following list of artists and see if you feel conflicted. Each one of these individuals has either faced allegations, said words, or done something that would get them canceled today and might draw ire from those criticizing the listener. It would benefit consumers of art to comb through their inspirations and take inventory, not to support or condemn, but to understand the human condition. Obviously, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. The reasons for these people's scrutiny are diverse, and this might take a while, so I'm gonna play Hood Rat. Now, do we as consumers deserve our own list of shame for finding inspiration in some of these people? There are billions of people who have found inspiration in nearly every one of these individuals. What does that say about their character? Especially if they're knowledgeable about the artist's flaws and wrongdoings.
People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids. But I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media, there is this sense sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people. And that's enough. Like if I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right, I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself. Because man, you see how woke I was? I called you out.
Some people, especially Ye fans, listen to his music purely for aesthetics. Every bass line, drum, and soul sample is appreciated down to the detail by fans. Ye fans characteristically care more about the meticulous and asinine aspects of music production, which is part of the reason why they complain about mixing with many releases. Scholarly analysis, biographical studies, and critical discussions in art can offer insights into the complex relationships between artists' personal beliefs and their artistic output. However, it's also important to foster a dialogue that encourages understanding, addresses the impacts of bigotry, and promotes inclusivity and respect in the arts and beyond. The conflicting thing about art is it is one of the few safe spaces where a person can be fully vulnerable with all of their good and bad parts on display. How can one hear well-produced music without feeling it? Is feeling it an indictment on yourself? Is feeling it an endorsement of worldviews that are outside of it? That's on you. You need to start asking, what does that have to do with their ideas? Quick dismissals are the easy way out, like dodging a challenge without even trying. It shows not only a lack of engagement with complex issues and people, but also a failure to solidly back up your own stance. It's about taking a moment to dive deeper instead of just skimming the surface of someone's interests and controversies. It seems that Ye's wide-reaching influence in many facets of culture prevent him from ever being wiped out, and that is one of the most fascinating aspects about his existence.
Guess a real nigga couldn't take no more, Niggas mad cause they can't talk to you no more, It was fucks given, now it ain't no more, If you ain't mean it, what you say it for,
She just wanna fuck at the Bottega store,
If you move the culture, being canceled might not even be possible, because you can't cancel the culture.
People are funny. They know Kanye is great too. But the way he conducts himself, they hate to believe it, but they can't help it. They know he's great.
Right.
Why would, listen, shit Kanye say is basically affirmations what people say for success. And it sounds insane, because that's what motherfuckers do, but he sounds insane. And that sounds of a leader. No doubt he got some mental fucking issues. Most leaders do. The delusional issue. I'm a god.